What's up, guys? Welcome back to Nimble Minds Talks of Self and Spirituality, where we talk about different spiritual concepts as well as different philosophies and perspectives as such. In this video, we're going to be talking about marriage. And this is a topic that a lot of people can relate to, everyone can relate to, because marriage, that idea, that image, that union is something that everyone either seeks or understands the occasion. So, first, I'm gonna drop a story, anecdote, my experience. There was a class I took, an English class, and in that class, there was a paper that we had to write, and we could choose certain topics. And on this paper, I chose one of the topics, which was marriage. And I was very curious about it, so it was one of the things that I decided to look into. So as I'm doing research for this paper and as I'm Googling different things and reading and even asking some people questions, I come upon information that starts to actually make me think. Now, I'm saying actually made me think because I've been hearing about marriage. I've heard about marriage my whole life. I've seen people married and it not work. I've seen people married and it seems like they're happy. So this is some of the things I've learned. A lot, almost, I'm not going to say over, but close to 50% of marriages, first marriages end in divorce. And then any marriage after that, the rate of divorce is about 60%. Now, this is America, and these are the statistics that I'm getting off the internet. But the reason this made me begin to think and get some gears turning is because you start to realize, or at least I did, that it's not all that is cracked up to be. What do I mean by marriage is not all that is cracked up to be? Because marriage is the best thing. It's a union. People are getting together. They're supposed to be happy. You guys know the things that are to come. A baby's probably on the way. Better financial situations, right? You guys love each other, right? So what's the big deal? Here is my first point on marriage. It takes that special feeling out of it, at least here in America. It does. Over the years, and even in my personal life, personal experiences I've seen, I've never been married myself, but I've been around people who have been married, and I understand that it's different being married but wise people say, learn from other people's mistakes. And also learn from other people's success. That's what wise people say. And I've been told that by some very wise people. So, when it comes to marriage, that's what I chose to do. Learn from others. And in this process of learning from others while also doing this research, it is not about the ring. It is not about the ceremony. And when I say it's not about that, that does not mean that the husband, the bride or the groom is like, I don't really care. Because truth be told, most people that are getting married and doing that celebration, they care about all that. That's why they're doing it. And there's nothing wrong with caring about that. But from what I've seen, it seems that when people are getting married nowadays, it's at a younger age, like early 20s when I say younger. And on top of that, they're in positions, right, where they haven't fully either discovered themselves or found themselves. And there's probably some younger guys out there, early 20s, like me, who are good off, they find themselves, they know who they are, they're probably listening like, what is this guy talking about? Good for you. But I can guarantee you, most people, it's probably not like that. And I believe and know it's because of what people have been fed versus the reality of the situation. I'm on the internet a lot. And I can tell you there's a lot of stuff that I'm fed on the internet. There's a lot of stuff that's put there on purpose. I can tell you that. And I'm still on the internet. I just understand that. But marriage, you can see it's marketed as the ring. It's this big ceremony. And yes, it is a very important thing because it is the union of two souls. It's the union of two beautiful spirits that are there to nurture and support each other as they've already been doing. And now they're continuing to do that with that, not just promise, but a statement. Hey, we're in this together. That's what it's supposed to be. But a lot of people get wrapped up in the the event. A lot of people get wrapped up in the noise, the crowds, the people, and who's this event, and it becomes a competition. I'm gonna say that again. It becomes a competition, and there's nothing wrong with some competition. Competition makes people better. Yes, it can, but most people, if you understand competition, that's most likely not the case. There's a lot of jealousy in competition. There's a lot of two-faced stuff going on in competition. There's a lot of people who are just there kind of acting in competition. That's why me personally, where I'm at, I don't really support all that competitiveness and stuff unless, like, what are we actually doing? Because in marriage, it can become an issue. Why is that? Because now you have people comparing themselves. Comparison is the killer of success. Comparison is the thief of joy. All these saying, all these quotes that you hear that are correct, that you can learn a lot from, they're true. Because why are you comparing yourself? For what? You're getting married to a person not because everybody has to know, everybody has to see this is who you're getting married to, even though it's good. This is your partner. You're excited, yes. But once it becomes I'm doing this, so now what are y'all doing? Or they're doing this, so we have to do this. That ain't marriage. It's called a competition. And at that point, that's your teammate, and y'all are playing a game. So it's not even about love or any of the other aspects that come with marriage, because there's other things as well that come with marriage. You know, being with this person, you know, making this promise and things like that. But that's not the reality situation. The reality is people grow. And I'm going to go back to that point that I made earlier about how people are getting married at younger ages, which, hey, by all means, go for it. You're probably going to learn a lot. But me personally, it is not worth it. It is not worth it at all. I'm going to be straight up with you. It is not worth it. Because I'm a young man. And the changes I have went through in the past couple of years from just, puberty and then growing up, I couldn't even imagine now. And this might be what separates me. Maybe it's the mindset. I can be objective and look in the mirror. That might be what separates me. Maybe it's just my mindset right now. I know for sure, no kids. I'm not trying to get married. What are you talking about? And that's because I'm in the process and I'm understanding, and I do understand that it takes a lot of work on yourself. Because when you get married, it's not a just straight honeymoon thing. It's not all like, That's not how life goes. So when you get married, it's almost as if you're trying to sell a lie, at least from what I'm seeing, from things that have been pushed in my life on social media and my own personal experiences. It's more of the experience. We're just here for the experience. And that's not okay for me. There are greater things, better things to look forward to than putting a ring on something temporary. What does that even mean? Some people, I hear talking points of people that have been married, that got divorced, or people that are still married, and they say, hey, marriage is about sacrifice. Marriage is about this. Marriage is about that. Truth be told, marriage is what you make it. Marriage, on a surface level, is two souls, two beings, two people, male, female, coming together in a union and saying, hey, we're in this together. That's all marriage is, really, for me. But when you start getting caught up in everything else, the show, the lights, the performance, it is no longer authentic. It is now an act. It's no longer authentic when you get caught up in that act. And this is something that whoever's listening, I would just watch out for it and be careful. Because the points I'm talking from marriage is a beautiful thing. It is an amazing thing. And that's why it should not be something that's played with. It should not be something that's just thrown around willy-nilly like, oh, I've been married 3 times. You go be married 3 times over there. Like, I'm not trying to get married a 4th time. Like, that kind of stuff. And then people be lying. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So if you're a man watching this, the best thing you can do is do your due diligence and do what? Take time. Take time. Time is your friend. Time reveals everything. So if you know you like this person, okay, you've been hanging out with this person, I'm talking for men right now, the guys, then yes, You're gonna be with her, okay? Take your time. Don't rush it. You may have, laid down with her, had a great time. That's awesome. But don't get stuck there in just that experience. Start thinking a little bit as well. You start thinking like about the future. Okay, well, maybe live in the moment, yes, but think a little bit ahead. Hey, is this someone you want to be with for a long time? Maybe not. Have we agreed that, hey, we like each other and we're fine with just spending time with each other right now, nothing serious? Okay. Me personally, I wouldn't even do that. But if that's what you want to do, you go do that. Okay? Nothing wrong with y'all doing that. So you have to be careful when it comes to marriage. Marriage is far beyond getting married and, getting this thing or this thing, this material thing, and now we're this. And it's far more than that. On a deeper level, on a spiritual level, it's far deeper than that. Families are coming together for marriage, and it's a beautiful celebration. But it has to be done. I'm not even going to say it has to be done right, because even right can be subjective. It has to be done with the good intentions and the actual love behind it. Because truth be told, with time, you will see if there was love there or not to begin with. That's why you have people who were in a previous marriage or relationship and they still talk to the person for whatever reason. Maybe they still have a good relationship, but I'm saying that they still talk to the person and they're in another marriage or relationship. Is because sometimes there was a bad decision. Maybe it was just lust and the person did something. Now they done got a mistake that they gonna try to cover up or try to recover from, or go against God for, who knows. But that's not okay, and you shouldn't be aiming to do that. Can mistakes happen? Yes. But when it comes to marriage and it comes to babies and it comes to these pregnancies, pregnancy ain't no accident. Nobody is out here accidentally getting pregnant. I'm sorry to tell you that. So if anybody comes to you like, hey, I'm accidentally, accident, somebody lying. So take your time. And this is for the women as well. Just take your time. Because there's going to be women out there. And I'm telling you, it's going to be some young women. Women are very beautiful. Women are smart. But there's going to be young women who, they're just young. So they're going to get into relationships. And the guy might sell them a dream. This is real talk. The guy might sell him a dream that, hey, this is how it go down. The guy might sell him a dream, and then they in there. Next you know, they pregnant. The dude like, my fault, I'm out. The dream faded. I woke up. Not really. So it's just like, what? So you have to be careful, okay? For the men and the women, you have to be careful. For the men, be careful where you're choosing to place your seed. For the women, be careful who you're choosing to let put the seed inside of you and whose seed you're choosing to carry. You have to be careful. You have to be thinking about not just the 10-year, 5-year plan, because truth be told, not every day is promised. But be thinking about who you are, who you want to be in life, and when it comes to marriage, who you are. Okay? And make sure you're taking your time. That's what I'm saying. Give it time. Wait till you grow up a little bit and just experience more life. That doesn't mean you gotta, whatever it is, become the best this or whatever, but just live life. See what you like. Find out what you don't like. Find out who you are and not who people are trying to tell you who you are and what society wants you to be. Find out who you really are, and then you come back and adjust. Then you can look. Then you can have conversations about those kind of things. But if you're not at the point where you're ready to be married, I'm going to be real with you. Be careful with some women out here, women in general, because there are some women who are serious about that. There's women that want to get married, and then there's men that are just playing, and vice versa. I know there's men out there that want to get married and want to be faithful, but and then they're dealing with maybe a woman that's just, she ain't there yet. It works both ways, two-way street. It's how you drive. So you have to be careful. Anyway, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.